Hey guys, what is going on? It is Gear and here, and in today's video we are going to be reviewing Fairy Tail episode 17, which is called The Burst. Sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Just before we get into this video, I will just announce something where I have started my own Patreon. So if you want to support me, the channel and the content I do, you can always click the first link at the top of the description and go over there and support my Patreons. I've added the benefits, of course, of what will happen if you do decide to join. If you don't want to, that is perfectly fine. Just watching these videos and just leaving a like, that means so much to me. And if this is just for people that might want to go a bit above that and just help support the content even further. But again, that's completely up to you. You guys can make your own decisions, of course, so if you want to become a Patreon, you can. If you don't want to and just want to subscribe and leave a like on the video, that is also perfectly fine too. But without further ado, let's get right into this Fairy Tail episode 17 review, which I will admit, it was very interesting. So what happened at the beginning? Well, it gave a quick recap of what happened in the previous episode about Deliora awakening and the moon drip ceremony being finally completed. So then what happened is it went to Natsu versus, of course, the guy that had the little arc time magic. So he was able to attack Natsu by using this sort of crystal where whenever he would launch it at Natsu, it would go forward, so it would accelerate forward and attack him, and whenever Natsu would destroy it, it would just rewind back to its previous form. So it was finally revealed that the type of magic he uses is the Arc of Time magic, which is a lost magic type. So this magic is he can rewind any type of magic for any type of object, including the temple which the moon drip ceremony was happening in. So that is how he was able to rewind the time so that the pillars were back to normal, so that the temple was actually level. So now that he revealed his magic to Natsu, it's sort of hard for Natsu to attack him because he is accelerating speed, he is pushing the crystal into the future, which is giving off a lot of attacks to Natsu, and Natsu, each time he destroys it, it just breaks, but he can just rewind time so that it goes back to normal. Then they take a little bit of a break where Natsu asks the guy, what is your objective? What do you want out of this after Deliora is beaten by Leon? Well, he revealed to us that he thought that Leon couldn't even defeat Deliora. He said that he had no chance of defeating him because Deliora was an immortal beast, and somehow he's got magic that can control an immortal beast like Deliora, so he just wanted to use him as a weapon of destruction and just have him under his fingers, which again, it does make sense because if you're a bad guy and you just want to use another powerful weapon, well, Deliora is the right fit for you because he is literally a weapon of mass destruction. So it was interesting, but then after Natsu heard that, he was sort of disappointed because he was thinking it's going to be like a main plan objective or something even better than that get him fired up. But that didn't even fire him up because even, let's just say after he heard that, he attacked the guy, and when he was attacking him, he said, fine, you can forward objects into the future. I can also use time by putting myself into the future, and I can see myself beating you sensibly. So it looks like he actually defeated the guy with one punch, and that was the end of their battle. Then it went to Erza and Lucy. They were hearing the roar of Deliora, and they had to go stop the moon drip ceremony, which was of course by that one dog wizard. So he was the only one that was doing the moon drip ceremony. So they went to go stop him, but it was too late. The ceremony was completed, and Deliora, after so many years of being encapsulated in ice, was finally free. So now Gray and Leon have made their way down to the dungeon where Deliora is finally freed, and now Gray and Natsu are starting to talk about how they want to take on Deliora because Natsu is saying that he wants Gray's help to defeat Deliora. Gray is still shocked, of course, and he is also talking to Leon about you should really just look forward. And it's sort of interesting because what happens is Leon, even though he's knocked out for the count and he's literally on his last legs, he still says that he wants to defeat Deliora and he wants to surpass Ur, because we get a little bit of a flashback where Leon met Ur through people in a pub. So he met him through people that were just talking about Ur, about how she was such a powerful wizard, and really she was only the other person, well, the single person actually in that continent that had that skill. So everyone was saying that she was the most powerful wizard. After Leon heard that whilst he was a kid, he straight away went to her and wanted her to be his teacher. So that is why he went to Ur after hearing it from other people. And the other people even said that Ur went to the mountains after she lost her daughter a couple of years ago. We'll find that out in probably 100+ episodes later on about her daughter, so that'll be interesting to find out. But for now, it is a little interesting to know what Ur did after she lost her daughter. Then what happened after that is it went back to Leon in the present day, and let's just say he's still obsessively trying to want to defeat Deliora so that he could surpass Ur, because that is really his main goal in life, and he is so obsessed with it that he'll do anything for it. But then Grey stepped in and he just knocked out Leon, so he went back onto the floor, and Grey was prepared to sacrifice his own life, and he started to use Ice Shell again so that he could seal Deliora and save everyone there. But before he could fully cast it, Natsu stepped in his way, and he just reminded him about what happened before when Grey tried to use Ice Shell on Leon. He said, "Do you really want to throw your life away like this? Don't you remember what I said before?" And he said to him that if you want to still use Ice Shell, go ahead and use it. I'm still going to be fighting Deliora, which is what happens. So Natsu and Deliora face off, and I'm going to create another theory. I know you guys probably don't like the Deliora theories, but I'm going to create another theory where Deliora, he was at his full power because technically he was an immortal being, and Natsu, with one punch, was able to destroy Deliora. Even though the crew are saying that the reason why that happened was because Ur, with her Ice Shell, was sapping away at Deliora's life. So really, the Deliora that they saw was literally on his last legs before he was fully gone and completely dead. So they just saw his last moments as a monster. So that is why he was just giving off such a ferocious roar, just saying that this is going to be his final roar. So that was interesting, but I don't think that is what happened, because somebody did mention that Deliora is an immortal beast. So he's similar to Zerif, where he is an immortal being. So how could an immortal being like him have his energy sapped away by Ur? Because remember in the Fatal Final series, Grey tried to use Ice Shell on Zerif, but Zerif said that that won't affect him, that will just seal him away for hundreds of years until somebody uses Moon Drip on him, just like they did with Deliora, and he will be perfectly fine because he is an immortal being. So then doesn't that same rule apply for Deliora? Well, you're going to have to subscribe for that, because that's going to be an interesting theory video. So then what happens after that is everything is done and dusted. Deliora is finally defeated, and Ur, even though she has melted away, she has now joined the sea, so now she can actually protect her students and sort of tell them not to fight anymore, because now she is free from Deliora, so she's no longer sealing him. So now it goes to a little bit of a happy moment where everyone has reunited. Erza meets Natsu, and of course Erza is pissed off because remember, Erza still did not meet Natsu at the beginning, so she is still slightly pissed off with him for of course going on the Fatal S rank mission. But it's all good and it's all done and dusted when the crew just have a little bit of an achievement moment, knowing that they defeated Deliora and literally completed the S rank mission. But then they of course realize that Erza was with them, so they are still going to receive a punishment once they get back to the guild on why of course they shouldn't have taken off that S rank mission, and they weren't ready for it, so they could have died just by doing that mission. But Erza says the mission is not over just yet, because the villagers are still acting like demons, they are still demon looking, and really the mission is not over just yet. So then as the crew are discussing it, they are starting to realize that Leon was the one that started the Moon Drip ceremony. So don't you think it was a little weird that when he came to this island 3 years ago, that even though he was performing the Moon Drip ceremony every single day, not him or anyone that he was with turned into a demon like any of the villagers? Don't you think that was a little weird? So how would that explain how those people who were actually at the center of the Moon Drip ceremony were not affected by it at all? However, the villagers were completely affected by it because they changed their whole appearances from humans to demons whenever the moon was out. That is what Erza deduced from that, and as they were discussing it, they started to realize, yeah, that is true. So they went back to the village to try and find out more answers about that. And then just before it went back to the village, Gray and Leon had a little bit of a talk where Gray said to Leon, you should join a guild, you should make new friends, you should go on journeys, and you should set yourself a new goal. And even though Leon was a little bit pissed off saying he should go, Gray had a little bit of a smile on his face knowing that Leon will actually try and join a guild and start his new adventure. So that was a little bit of a nice moment there between Gray and Leon, and that is the end of that arc. So now it goes to the next end where it's going to be about the villagers, about completing the S rank mission because the villagers are still demons, and when they go back to the village, apparently the village that was destroyed in the previous episode, that is now been restored. So now that has been restored to its normal form, and Natsu of course thinks that it's that guy that he was faces that was able to rewind time for objects. He rewinded time for the village and turned it back to normal, which is very weird considering he is a bad guy, but if he wants to do a good deed now and then, nobody can blame him. So now Erza starts to talk with everyone in the village. She asks them questions like, you saw the moon drip ceremony happening every single day and yet nobody went there. Nobody decided to go out there to see what's going on. And just as she was speaking seriously, let's just say Lucy's trap was revived, and Erza fell for Lucy's trap, and it was a very funny moment when that happened. And Erza just came out the hole acting like nothing has happened, and the villagers of course commended her for that, but also saw that she was a little bit of a weirdo. So then as Erza was talking to the villagers said that they tried to go to the temple a couple of times, but they couldn't get through to it because apparently each time they went there, they just were turned back to the village, so they couldn't literally get out of the village and go to the temple because something was blocking them. And just as Erza heard that, she said for Natsu to come with her and say that we are gonna blow up the moon. That was her words, and that was the end of Fairy Tail episode 17. What an interesting episode, and what a great arc for the S rank mission quest, the very first one as well. That was a great mission. I can't wait to see what's gonna happen in the next episode for Fairy Tail. You guys let me know down below what was your favourite moment in Fairy Tail episode 17, and also go check out my Patreon if you want to help support the channel, but the main thing that would help support the channel is just leaving a like. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a comment and drop a like on the video, and subscribe to join the awesome community that we have on this channel. Thank you guys for watching, take care, and peace.